but I'm literally the only one who keeps driving the point home that Star Wars is what George created.
It is possible for other people to expand on a story created by someone else. Star Trek is actually a great example. Fucking, like Gene Roddenberry had some wonky ideas for that franchise. Wonky fucking ideas. When I was doing research for the Ferengi stream not that long ago, one of the ideas he had was, the Ferengi, like, walk weird because they have massive fucking dicks. Like, literally, that was one of the ideas he had for the Ferengi. They obviously didn't do that. His ideas are, he has ideas, but it's best if he doesn't tell the stories, frankly. It's best if somebody else takes his ideas and runs with it. It's a thing. Like, sometimes this stuff, it's better to let somebody else take somebody else's idea and run with it. And it doesn't, like, diminish the original person's creation, but also isn't, like, no longer counting or something like that. Like, he's gonna try to discredit just because George Lucas isn't involved. And I mean, let's face it, the prequel hate was probably part of the encouragement for George Lucas to sell the franchise. Hey guys, I need you to do me a favor. Help me fight the algorithm. Go ahead and hit like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon for new notifications. Thank you. Now it's probably time for me to cover what a lot of you guys are here for me to talk about. At least what the chat was busy about at the beginning. It is this guy. Oh, you know, you're fucking this guy. This guy! You see, it works better when I flip the screen when I say it. Yeah. I will say I like having two screens. I like having the monitor where I can see what I'm broadcasting, but also, yeah, like having just a screen that, yeah, two screens makes it so much easier. Anyways, Star Wars Theory. I've never covered Star Wars Theory before, but he seems like he's just being a chud recently. I mean, I skipped ahead here, but like, look at some of these. Star Wars is so dead. What am I going to do? We love to make women uncomfortable. My thoughts on it's time for women to shape Star Wars. Go away. Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to go into this one. This is 2 months old. I'm done here. Disney is destroying Star Wars. What a joke. Let's break this one down.
Wonder why Star Wars is in...
Okay, so real quick, I'll go ahead and go over...
You wonder why Star Wars is in such a state...
Okay. Let's go to the beginning, but don't play. There we go. Oh, it's a great face to open with, too. Ah, well. Listen, I don't want to go after people too much for a pause face, because everybody has a pause face. But anyways, Star Wars Theory is a guy I used to kind of... Like, I never watched him regularly, but I never objected to him, because, like, he used to just do, like, lore videos. Like, he would be like, hey, I read this Star Wars book, and here's a little background about this and that. I read George Lucas is talking about making of Star Wars, and here's a little bit about this, here's a little bit about that. It was interesting. It was nice to see him just dive in, and like it just seemed like he was a guy who was a huge Star Wars fan. Now, over at least the past few months, if not maybe the past year or so, he has been getting, frankly, chuddy. He's been hanging out with Nerdrotic and guys like that. He is, and I want to stress, this is like, he is the biggest Star Wars channel. He's got 3.3 million subs. This guy is huge. And he has been saying stuff that's kind of weird. But you know what? I'm not going to speak for him. Here's his video.
You wonder why Star Wars is in such a state where no one is interested anymore. Nobody gives a crap.
We would be honored if you would join us.
The Kenobi Show. You know, is a show that we had been waiting for, arguably... No, not... You know what? Screw arguably. It was the most important show that Star Wars could ever have released after George sold it to Disney. We got Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi in between Revenge of the Sith,
The most important show? I don't know. I never thought of it as important. You know, let's see his point, but...
And A New Hope. We got Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, as well as Luke Skywalker and Leia. Literally the main characters of Star Wars, the most important part, time, everything. And what kind of a budget does it get? It gets not even less than Andor, which I think had like 130 million or 110 million or maybe even more than that. What was the budget for Andor? Hold on here before I even get ahead of myself. You guys are going to see such a more real side of me as we push into 2024 because I'm fed up. I'm really tired. I'm really fed up. People that don't like me already don't like me. People that love me already love me. And I'm here for you guys, and I'm not here for anyone else. At the end of the day, I'm here for George Lucas. I'm here for Star Wars. I'm here for...
You're here for George Lucas? George Lucas sold Star Wars for $4 billion. Just saying. And Kathleen Kennedy was his hand-picked replacement. Just saying.
Myself and what Star Wars used to be. Let's get a few things out of the way. Not everything that Disney has created is total garbage. Maybe, 80, 90%. But there is that 10% that is actually really amazing. Mandalorian Season 1 and 2. Tales of the Jedi. The Clone Wars Season 7.
Okay, I never fully understood. So I would definitely say Mandalorian Season 3 was my least favorite of the three. But, I didn't think it was, a steep, drop-off or anything. I still thought it was decent show. Quality-wise, overall, I'd put it on similar wavelength as the other two seasons. Being slightly not as good is still good. The hate for Mandalorian Season 3, to me, has less to do with, the actual quality of Mandalorian. It just has to do with the fact that hating on everything Star Wars has become quite profitable on the internet. So they're gonna do it.
Been Rebels, Ahsoka up until episodes 7 and 8. But what I'm trying to say is, not everything that
the last couple of Ahsoka was pretty fucking solid. I'm gonna be honest, even at the end. The worst thing I'd throw at the end of the Ahsoka is I thought Thrawn's plan was pretty rudimentary.
Has been created under Disney's umbrella was garbage. Now, mind you, those things were created by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. But I digress. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the most important Star Wars project since Disney purchased Lucas.
You keep on saying that. Okay, I'm sure.
Film from George Lucas in 2012. And it gets the lowest budget of any Star Wars show.
I like that, Crawling Chaos. It's better than Sex or Worst Show Ever. Yep. Every show must be worst show ever then.
Date. She-Hulk gets a better budget than Obi-Wan? Freaking She-Hulk. I mean...
Let's use a mid-credit scene to represent the entirety of She-Hulk, a comedy series. Now, I will say I'm actually kind of surprised that She-Hulk got a bigger budget. Well, I guess I'm not... I'm trying to think of a good way to say it. Because, part of me is kind of surprised that She-Hulk got a bigger budget than Obi-Wan Kenobi. Assuming his source is accurate, which I'm going to assume it is. But part of me isn't, because, She-Hulk would have to be a bigger budget, because, you don't actually have a giant green, Tatiana Maslany to work with, so you have to, computer generate that.
What the hell, man? Who is making these decisions?
Also, this image looks weird. I think it must be an AI augmented image, because it looks weird. This doesn't quite look like what was in the show.
Up there. I'm sorry to make this kind of video, dude, but honestly, who is making those decisions up there? You wonder why Star Wars is in such a state where no one...
Market summary? What the fuck does the market have to do with the fucking Star Wars? And this is over one day. The market fluctuates, and the range is it fluctuates between 81.5 and 80.75. So a fluctuation of 0.75 points over one day. What is the point of this?
No one is interested anymore. Nobody gives a crap.
Whoa, you put up that market thing. You put this up, and then What? Just draw your own conclusions? Like, this, you're barely, like, this isn't even fucking saying anything. And it's like, he just puts it up here, and he just says nothing about it. Like, what is the fucking point of this? Literally. It shows a 0.75 fluctuation in the market over a fucking day. So apparently that's in dollars. So 75-cent fluctuation in the market over a day. The fuck? So what?
State.
And also, explain to me, just go ahead and explain to me, what the fuck market? What the fuck any of this market has to do with like, how well a show is written, or how well it's directed or acted. Explain that one to me.
Where no one is interested anymore. Nobody gives a crap. It's 'cause of shit like this. And you know.
So is the market thing supposed to reflect that people don't care? 'Cause it doesn't even say that. It just says it starts high, it goes a little lower, and then it picks up, and it pretty much ends where the day began. Like, what the fuck is the point?
What? The budget wasn't even the biggest problem of the show. You have fan films. You have fan fictions that have like no budget, that have like the budget of an internet connection and a computer, that honestly garner more attention and love than the garbage writing and directing that flew into the Kenobi show.
So Kenobi show definitely had its issues. I'll give you that. I thought it was decent. I thought overall it was a good show. I thought Ewan McGregor did a great job. I thought the actress who played Leia did a phenomenal job. I thought she was a great child actress. I like the final battle on the planet, even though like it's just kind of an abandoned planet, so you know they can kind of do whatever they want. But I like that they give they give you a justification for why Obi-Wan essentially lies to Luke about his Anakin being killed by his father. Kind of give you the perspective as to why Obi-Wan would see it as Darth Vader killing Anakin. Yeah, it's got its issues. Like, you know, fucking Obi-Wan hiding Leia under his coat in that one scene, kind of weird, kind of wonky. I'll give you that. Very fucking wonky. It's been a while since I've seen it. There's probably more wonkiness, but like, overall it's fine. I enjoyed it.
You have the most important characters in Star Wars. Not only that, you're bringing back Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor. Forget Jimmy Smits, everybody else. You're bringing back the goats, okay? The original, well, the prequel trilogy.
That's about right to say, not the originals, dude.
The original.
Although we did get James Earl Jones, I believe it was like an AI voice that essentially, I imagine Disney paid James Earl Jones a fuck ton of money to get him recording a bunch of stuff so they can have an AI voice for him forever. Sounded fucking good.
Yeah. The original, the OGs, man. The OGs from the prequels, okay? And you not only, you know, give a crap script, you get people that don't know what the hell they're doing when it comes.
I think the script could have used once more over, but I think there's a really good series in that script. And like I said, there's some really great stuff in that series. There's some wonky stuff too, but there's some great stuff too. It just like it needs you know, finished up. Like yeah, it could have been better, is what I'm saying.
Comes to writing the stories and the characters that George built and created, you regress them. You focus on Reva.
Whoa! How are those characters regressed and focused on Reva? Well, Reva's a new character, so like this drives me nuts. People talk about how like, oh, how dare they introduce a new character? Every single entry into the Star Wars canon will introduce a new character. This is unavoidable. It's a fact of writing. You're gonna do that.
You make chasing Leia literally like the most impossible thing to find a 9-year-old or 10-year-old. And above all,
because Obi-Wan is helping her escape? What? That's the plot of the show. What?
You have open-handed combat from a civilian against...
Oh, is he talking about the chase scene where they first capture? Yeah, okay, yeah, I could argue that's a little wonky. But, Yeah, it's. I'm not arguing it's a perfect show. I'm just arguing it's decent. It's solid. It's got some good stuff in it.
Stormtroopers. I mean, look, stormtroopers suck, but they're not. They don't get disoriented like that from a slap on the head. Okay.
Oh, stormtroopers get some wonky stuff. Get a grip.
But then you also managed to give literally the worst script of all time, the lowest budget of all time.
Literally the worst script of all time. Literally the worst script of all time. If he thinks that is literally the worst script of all time, then, my friend, you have lived a sheltered life. It's not even a particularly bad script. It's a script that could have used some fixing for sure, but like it's overall decent, and they do some solid character work with Obi-Wan and Leia, and Anakin. Honestly, it's decent. If you think that's the worst script of all time, then I'm envious. I am envious of what a sheltered life you've lived. There are so much worse scripts.
I don't get it. I don't. I'm trying to understand this. I'm really trying to. Who's making these decisions, dude? Let's give this script the crappiest script of all time. Let's regress the characters, and then let's give them the lowest.
How are they regressed? I would like an explanation. You keep on saying that. What's that mean?
Budget of the most important story in Star Wars, the most important characters in Star Wars.
Not the most. Listen, like, if you want to argue, maybe it's supposed to be the most important Disney Plus series, maybe. But like the most important story in Star Wars would probably be the original trilogy, or at least one of the trilogies. I would definitely think Disney's going to sink more money into the sequel trilogy than they did Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm a little confused as to why you're placing this huge story standard on the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
But let's just literally give them the bare minimum, but focus all of our attention in Andor, which, yes, Andor is a great show for everyone.
Yeah, Andor was fucking amazing.
Who attended film school and wants to eat.
That's right. Didn't he famously hate Andor, or just like not consider it Star Wars or something? Yeah, he's shitting on people who like Andor right now.
Their cheese with a French hat so they can twiddle their mustache at the same time and talk about the Renaissance era and how great things were back then while they sip on their wine from 1922. Okay, don't get me wrong. I liked Andor. I liked it. It was a good.
Well, why are you making fun of people who like it then?
Good show. It was fine. It was cozy. It was also extremely boring and made me fall asleep a million times while I was watching it.
That's a you problem, man. Andor's like the best. Like, yeah, Andor might be. Okay, I think I prefer Last Jedi to Andor, but like that's about it for like the best Disney Star Wars stuff. Like that's amazing. And then probably after that would probably be Ahsoka.
But it was still a good show. Whatever, I enjoyed it.
Well, wait, is it good or did it bore you to death? What the fuck? You're talking out both sides of your mouth right now, dude.
Sleepy time, okay? Like you want to put to sleep, you watch Andor. You want Star Wars, you watch Obi-Wan Kenobi. You watch Revenge of the Sith. You don't watch Obi-Wan Kenobi. You watch.
Is this before Ahsoka? Yeah, I would say if you want like something that feels like old school Star Wars, you watch Ahsoka. And Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of has that vibe, but like Ahsoka was better. Let's be real.
Revenge of the Sith. You're watching. So I'm going Italian now. That 6% Italian is coming out, and I'm starting to get a little bit angry here. You want to watch Star Wars? You watch the first 6 movies, and you watch the Clone Wars. That's Star Wars. You want to create a Star Wars project? You create the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, but not the way it was written by Joby Harold and directed by Deborah Chow. You get someone competent who knows.
What the fuck was that?
Who's the characters and respects the characters. You get Jon Favreau and Dave. Why didn't Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni do the Kenobi show?
Because they can't do everything? Because they like the pitch somebody else had?
Didn't they do all shows? I mean, okay, Andor was fine. It was keep the guy.
Would you just like plant a flag in Andor? Like you keep on saying it's fine. It bored me to death. It was good, but I hated it. It was good. Dude.
There, but even he said, he's like, half the time I forgot I was doing a Star Wars show. this is just, I am so tired. I'm so tired of trying to be so nice to people. Man, I don't care if you don't like what I have to say. Don't watch my videos. I'm not here for them. I'm here for me. I'm here for Star Wars, George Lucas, and to protect the legacy because
George Lucas sold it, dude. He sold it for a fuck ton of money. George Lucas is fine. He doesn't need you to protect him. I'm just saying.
Frankly, dude, I'm the only one that keeps doing it. And they make clips of me on TikTok or whatever, they can keep doing it, but I'm literally the only one who keeps driving the point home that Star Wars is what George created. It's not this shit that's been created now and given a crap.
So it is possible for other creators to expand upon something that another creator makes. Fun fact, who here has read Stan Lee's run of X-Men? There might be a couple that say yes. If you say yes, I've read a little bit of it myself. It's not great. Stan Lee, I think, had some great ideas, but like his stories, I think, took off much better when other writers took over. Namely, the famous X-Men you know now, that's a lot of work from Chris Claremont, who kind of took the ideas that Stan introduced and expanded on them, like, and fleshed them out. If you read old Stan Lee, like, it's a very 60s era story and storytelling, but he has some great ideas that, like, can get modernized really well, and writers have really worked quite well with those ideas and done amazing stuff. Just because it's not the original person creating it doesn't mean it's impossible to build on their legacy. And fun fact, did you know, I don't know if you're aware of this, you've been on the internet for a few years, you may not be aware of this. Did you know the prequel films got some hate? There was a little bit of hate put towards those prequel films on the internet. Just a little bit. Just saying they weren't the most popular things. And now people have decided, hey, you know that prequel hate money? We can expand that to be Disney Star Wars hate money. And you guys have now fostered what probably has to be the most toxic fan community there is. Marvel's getting pretty bad. Star Trek definitely has some chudge, which is confusing. I do not understand how you are a conservative Star Trek fan. That kind of fucking blows my mind. Like, some of this other stuff, I'm like, okay, you can maybe ignore some of the obvious political references in Star Wars, like the fact that fucking the Empire are obviously fucking Nazis. You can ignore that, but like Star Trek is like so in your face with its politics. Like, being a conservative Star Trek fan is just like, the fuck are you doing? Like, are you watching something different? Anyways, I'm getting off topic a bit, but like, it is possible for other people to expand on a story created by someone else. Star Trek is actually a great example. Fucking so many, like, Gene Roddenberry had some wonky ideas for that franchise. Wonky fucking ideas. When I was doing research for the Ferengi stream not that long ago, one of the ideas he had was the Ferengi, like, walk weird because they have massive fucking dicks. Like, literally, that was one of the ideas he had for the Ferengi. They obviously didn't do that. His ideas are, it's like he has ideas, but it's best if he doesn't tell the stories, frankly. It's best if somebody else takes his ideas and runs with it. It's a thing. Like, sometimes this stuff, it's better to let somebody else take somebody else's idea and run with it. And it doesn't make it any less, it doesn't, like, diminish the original person's creation, but also isn't, like no longer counting or something like that. Like, he's gonna try to discredit just because George Lucas isn't involved. And I mean, let's face it, the prequel hate was probably part of the encouragement for George Lucas to sell the franchise.
Budget so that She-Hulk can shine through as she twerks with Meg the Stallion.
She-Hulk was definitely a series that probably would need a bigger budget just for the She-Hulk effect. I don't know. Like, I mean, you could make the argument maybe Obi-Wan should have had a bigger budget. I could see that argument, but like, budget doesn't equal quality. I would prefer, like, if I could choose between one or the other, another script rewrite for Obi-Wan Kenobi or a bigger budget, I would take the script rewrite. I'm not saying redo the whole thing. I'm just saying someone else go over it one more time and touch it up.
I just don't get it, man. How can this $4 billion company be handled by these...
Are you just talking about Lucasfilm? Like, Disney's way bigger than $4 billion.
buffoons who don't even understand the...
I want to point out he really hasn't levied any complaints over Obi-Wan Kenobi other than he thought the budget was too small and he showed a market image for no reason.
Characters, but also assign these nitwits to write for these legendary characters and at the same time give them pennies. But then they want to give She-Hulk the most money because it's what, CGI? You guys remember the ending of She-Hulk? What the hell did they do to Hulk's son? You guys remember Andor? Why does Andor have a $250 million budget? I mean, I feel like we should have paid $20-30 million at least to Hayden, $20-30 million to Ewan, $60 million right there. Oh shit, you have the whole budget for the show. But they give $250 million to Andor, $225 million to She-Hulk. You're looking at $500 million, you're looking at $500 million for two shows, which honestly aren't even the most important things in either of their franchises. What?
I would still question why you're calling Obi-Wan Kenobi the most important thing in the franchise, and I don't know why you're hung up on the budget. Still, budget does not equal quality.
What the hell are these people thinking? And you're wondering why South Park is making these kinds of comments towards Kathleen Kennedy. It's because people there clearly aren't using their brains. And it seems like I'm taking crazy pills. I'm starting to feel like I'm Mugatu. It's like, does nobody see this?
I'm trying to figure out how you could watch that that South Park special and miss the fact that they are making fun of the Chuds too. Yes, the South Park special said Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are not being creative and should be more creative. But they're also calling the people who are calling her out racist bigots. Like, did you watch it?
And we're all just standing around like, hey, it's okay. We got Andor. Andor's the best Star Wars we've ever... It's not. It's Blade Runner. With a...
I guess I could see a Blade Runner vibe to Andor, but I never thought of it as a Blade Runner. I just thought of it as more like a gritty, like... What I loved about Andor was that, like, there's no Jedi, there's no Force. This is just gritty, on-the-ground starting of the rebellion. That's what made it awesome. It was something different from Star Wars. And you're allowed not to like it, but, like, when your critique's as simple as I found it boring, that's just, like, your opinion, man. I guess it's all our opinion, but, like, there's not much to say about that. Okay. I thought it was great.
The Star Wars theme. It's not bad. I love Blade Runner. Go to my Theory Talks channel. I'm always playing Blade Runner music. But that doesn't mean it's a good show for Star Wars. The Last Jedi was the most asinine representation of a continuation of Luke Skywalker's story that I've ever seen in my life. Yet it was a good movie. It just wasn't a good Star Wars movie. What the heck?
What the fuck does that mean? It's not a good movie. It's a good movie, but it's not a good Star Wars movie? What? Again, it's the same thing with Andor. It was good. I just found it boring. Last Jedi, it was good. It's not a good Star Wars movie. What the fuck does that mean, bro? Like, Larry, what the fuck does that mean? I'm really confused. What does that fucking mean? It sounds like you're talking out both sides of your mouth.
I don't... You know the movie How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? I feel like Disney has one, like how to lose a franchise in 10 years. And now they're pouring all this money and focusing on the Rey movie? Like, are you guys not learning your lesson? Like, seriously?
I am interested in... Listen, as much as I was fucking disappointed in Rise of Skywalker, and oh my god, I could go on that one all day. By the way, Palpatine fucks now.
Use your aggressive feelings. Let the hate flow through you.
Okay. as much as I'm disappointed in that movie, I think the Rey movie starting a Jedi school, I want to see that. I want to see them develop the character of Rey more. Because I think a sound argument could be made they didn't develop her enough. And I want to see her become more of a rounded character. Absolutely. Yeah.
Are you not learning your lesson? I just don't get it, man. I don't get it how they can be so out of touch. Make better Star Wars, dude. Make Mando season 1 and 2. Make that continuously.
Well, why are you complaining about the Rey movie? Why aren't you just saying I hope it's good? I'm confused. I hope the Rey movie is good. Why aren't you hoping it's good?
I don't know what the hell happened with the Book of Boba Fett.
Book of Boba Fett, I don't know. It's okay. Yeah, it's definitely wonky. It's very, very wonky.
Well, obviously someone's meddling with something out there. Okay, because it did the consistent wise, it just doesn't make sense. Mando season 1 and 2 were literally like perfection. Mando season 3 was the most
Mando season... Okay, so... Like, I feel... Am I taking crazy pills? So, like, I feel like he's talking about how, like, apparently Mando season 3 and Andor and Obi-Wan Kenobi are, like, terrible. But, like, Mando season 1 and 2 are perfection. Whereas I think Mando season 1 and 2 are pretty fucking solid. And season 3, I think, is also pretty fucking solid. I just think every season there's diminishing returns. But, like, I don't think it's perfection by any means. They're just pretty solid. And then Obi-Wan's decent. Although that one's, I think, quite a few steps below Mando season 3. And then Andor is, like, the best thing Disney Star Wars has done outside The Last Jedi. Probably, if I were to rank my top 3 Disney Star Wars projects, it would be Last Jedi, Andor, and Ahsoka. I think those are fantastic.
disjointed thing I've ever seen. Boba Fett was just shit. To be honest, like the first 2 episodes were amazing. Then after that, I was like, what happened?
Well, here's the interesting about Boba Fett. I would actually argue that pretty much all the episodes in isolation are fine. But the problem is the series taken as a whole. It loses focus on Boba Fett. Like, we spend a lot of time looking at Boba Fett, and then it just cuts to Mando, and it becomes Mando for like almost half the season. And then we jump back to Boba Fett, and we haven't really done anything with Boba Fett for a while. And it's the final battle. And the final battle is fucking awesome. The final battle in Boba Fett is cool shit. Awesome. But it just feels like we haven't seen Boba Fett for a while, and then all of a sudden he's here and here. We're watching him for the final battle, and it's like, okay. Like, I was much more attached to Mando in the Boba Fett series than I was to Boba, and that's not good.
The Booby Fett.
What?
You know, well, like, what's going on here? I don't know. I just feel like it's satire at this point. You know, it's like we just constantly keep trying.
Yes, Colin Chaos. The Rancor was cool. I was expecting Danny Trejo to have a much bigger role. Like, he popped up for like one scene in one episode. I was like, oh, it's Danny Trejo. He's gonna have a role. He's gonna be probably a villain or some shit. And no, he's just gone. Yeah, that was wild.
To see what else they're gonna mess up at this point, and it's like I don't want to do that. I just want to enjoy Star Wars. You guys remember how hyped Star Wars fans were when Mando 1 came out? Oh my gosh. It was like Star Wars was back. It was like after The Last Jedi, and we thought, you know, like, oh my god, okay, finally we got something to grasp onto now. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's just and you know, they don't even want to give Kenobi a second season. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, I don't blame you, dude. Like, where are you gonna go from there? I mean, the whole show just focused on. You guys have heard me talk about it. I'm so frustrated. I'm so Disney. Like, I don't know, you guys. You do what you want to do, man. At this point, you know, you can't. It's in the hands of the fans, and the fans are going to continue to make fan films. You guys are going to continue to get roasted by South Park and even bigger media that will come in the future, and you deserve.
Well, there is money to be made in grifting, so yes.
But you really do, because you aren't learning from anything. And you're continuously ruling with your ego, and you guys just have no idea what Star Wars is about at the end of the day. There are many people at Lucasfilm who have a real good, clear understanding. And yes, I do think I have a very good understanding of what Star Wars is. First 6 films, I think I know it better than pretty much anybody. Clone Wars. I mean, you want to talk about mythology, you want to talk about Star Wars, you want to talk about character arcs, you want to talk about themes, you want to talk about the characters themselves, what they were going through, why they did what they did. You want to talk about force abilities, lightsaber techniques and fighting styles and backstories and this and that. I mean, I know the movies and the books inside and out. I'm not the only one. There are millions of others at Lucasfilm that know so much about Star Wars. Sam Witwer and Dave Filoni. I mean, these are two guys that, like, you can't be luckier finding talent like this and having them be loyal to the brand.
Well, Dave Filoni's been doing quite a bit with Star Wars. He did Ahsoka. He's working on the Mando series, I know. I think he's doing Clone Wars as well. I think that was his big introduction into Star Wars, actually. Yeah, he's still there.
And having them work for the brand. I mean, honestly, at this point, you would be a fool to not be hiring the two of them to work together to create everything going forwards. Tired of this. Green light 1313. Green light The Force Unleashed 3. No one cares about your junk canon. Just create good stories that we love. Create the characters that we love. Embellish the characters that we love. Continue their stories. Create Star Wars. Make it great. Make it what it was.
I mean, I will be blunt. This comes off very much like I'm a big fan of the expanded universe, and I hate that Disney has deleted that from canon. And you know what, dude? I can appreciate feeling that way, but you know what? The expanded universe still exists. It's still there. You can still read it. You can still dive into it. It's, you know, it's not like official Disney canon or whatever, but like, honestly, like, whatever you want to consider canon can be canon for you. I mean, it's not the canon everyone else will follow, but like, if you just want to hold on to that expanded universe and say, this is all the Star Wars I need, cool. But like, there's gonna be other Star Wars content. And here's the crazy thing. Here's the really, really fun thing you can do. You can actually appreciate both. You can dive into both, and if you have a critique of something, explain it. Or if you don't, if you just like it, just talk about how much you like it. There's nothing wrong with liking both. But yeah, I don't know. Too many people make it like it's the expanded universe or the Disney universe, and it's like, no, it's not. They both still very much exist. Take what you want.
Give it a proper, fair chance for the characters that matter. Give them the money they deserve. So weird, so bizarre to me. They'll never learn, and we'll continue to be pushed towards the prequels and originals. That's all it is. That's all that'll happen.
Rey movie plot leak. That movie's still in the scripting stages. No, it's not. There's no plot leak on that. Get a grip. My thoughts on It's Time for a Woman to Shape Star Wars. So this is about the new director, the director of the Rey movie. I'm going to, I'm going to bring her up on screen. We talked about her on the initiative not that long ago. Yeah, like a couple hours ago. But I do not know how to pronounce her name. I'm going to slaughter it. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring her up on screen. Charmine Obey Chinoy. I'm slaughtering it. I know DJ knows how to pronounce it. But she is directing the Rey movie. And she came out with a quote saying, it's about time for a woman to direct a Star Wars movie. She is the first woman to be directing a Star Wars feature film. And you know what? I agree. Let's get more women directors. Kind of period in general. Let's see what he says. I'm sure it will be based and reasonable.
Yo guys, subscribe to my new channel, Theories Tales, a fanfic.
Guys, if you're watching this right now, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell icon. I always forget to say that. I need to say it at the beginning of every fucking stream.
Fiction of all original stories, narrated by me, with music and sound effects. You're gonna love it. What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. We have entered 2024, and this came across my feed today on X, Twitter. I still don't know what to call it, but Charmin obeyed Chinoy on the upcoming new Jedi Order movie. I'm very thrilled about the project because I feel what we're about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now, and it's about time that we have a woman come forward to shape a story in a galaxy far, far away.
What?
I'm making this video because I really don't understand the constant obsession with whether it's a man or a woman behind the camera or the story.
She's directing a Star Wars movie, and she's happy to be the first woman to direct a Star Wars movie. It's really not that complex, dude.
I really don't get it. Let's just tell a good story. This constant narrative.
What about that says I'm not gonna make a good story? What about that says making a good story is not important? What the fuck are you, dude? She's literally the first woman to direct a Star Wars movie, and she's saying it's happy. I'm happy to get the chance to shape the Star Wars universe bit. That's all she's fucking saying. She's literally saying she's happy to do something with Star Wars. Isn't that what you want? The fuck, man?
About, is this story about a woman? Is this story about a man? I simply don't care. I only care about good Star Wars.
Well, let's see if she makes a good Star Wars movie then. She worked on Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel was pretty solid. Let's see what she does with Star Wars.
It could be an alien writing the story or directing the story. It makes no difference to me. I believe today we have equal opportunities for all the sexes, and
the fuck universe are you living in? No, we don't have equal opportunities for all the sexes. It's getting better. It's getting better, absolutely, but no, it's not equal. Get a grip.
I think that whether it's a man or woman is irrelevant to what really is a testament as to how popular and amazing Star Wars has become, and that's simply because of the story. It's got nothing to do with any agenda or politics or anything like that, and that's what made Star Wars timeless. Now, of course, we have had
agenda or politics. Because Star Wars is politics-free, guys. Star Wars is politics-free.
Many women tell Star Wars stories previously. I believe in The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, we've had many directors that were women. Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yes, but this is the first feature film directed by a woman. And I think it's also worth noting, directing a feature film and directing a TV series are two very different things. Lots of times, a TV series will have a showrunner, and the showrunner will kind of essentially kind of direct the director on how the director will have free reign on to a degree, but the showrunner will kind of give them pretty clear ideas. This is what we're doing with the story. This is what I need you to do with your story. Whereas a director on a feature film is more likely to have a lot of free reign. When you watch a TV show, you're getting more of the overall story that the showrunner wants. Whereas if you're watching a movie, you're getting the story the director wants.
Howard being one of them, of course, who is a fantastic director. And, I like...
Yeah, no, I think she's really good too, but that's not a feature film.
To believe that when directors come in to write episodes and stories or direct episodes, they also do a little bit of the writing and tweaking too. It's not like they're going
potentially, yes, but not necessarily
exactly verbatim cookie cutter from what the script says. So I personally am pretty concerned about this movie. I've seen some of Charmin's comments about how she likes to make men uncomfortable.
I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
And it just seems like...
Wow, that seems like something said in 100% seriousness and should be taken like it's a death threat. Are you serious? You're triggered by something like that, where that's obviously just her being light and telling a joke. Literally in the clip you show. That's her clearly being goofy. Come on, man. Come on.
If we, for a second, I want you to imagine, if we had a man saying something like that coming into a Star Wars movie, it's about time that we have a man tell a Star Wars story.
That would be a nonsense statement, since Star Wars was created and directed by a man for the first 12 movies. Yeah. They would be nonsense. It's about time for a man to shape Star Wars. But men have been shaping Star Wars. It won't make any fucking sense, bro.
Or we have him saying, I like to make women feel uncomfortable. I'm really feeling...
Okay. I like to make women... God, that is a... Yeah, that wouldn't fly. Well, you know what? context matters, and maybe if it's in the context of a joke, like Charmine was clearly just telling a joke there, maybe he could make that fly. But yeah, in our society, because we live in a society and all types of things inform our society, yes, it would be weird for a man to say that about a woman, because like I said, we live in a society, it's a male-dominated society where men have a lot of power, so making women feel uncomfortable is probably not the best. But like I said, in the context of a joke, maybe?
Failing to understand what the difference...
And I want to stress, Charmine was clearly telling a joke. Even in the clip you showed, it was clearly meant to be a joke.
...is here when one is not okay and one is okay. You know, so I think if we really want true equality in...
Okay, because we don't have true equality. So things are not 100% equal. So fucking cope with that.
In the future, for men and women, we need to understand that verbiage and the things we say need to be completely equal in that sense as well. Anyways, this is the update that we have going...
So you're going to say, I want the world to work like this, therefore I want everybody to agree to the rules of this world that I've invented in my mind. That's not how the world works.
Going forwards for the new Jedi Order movie from director Shamin Obaid Chinoy. And if you want to read more about the comics, then you can go on this page's Instagram or Twitter, and there's a lot of people saying exactly the same thing. What exactly she's suggesting. It's this constant sort of bullshit that I think is just...
It's almost like there's a fucking shitload of chuds on Twitter.
running amok. The industry. It's that we constantly need to have women or whatever directing or writing these stories, and it's that we really don't. We just need to have good stories. And
can we not have both? So listen, in Hollywood especially, so many projects have been run by men, specifically white men. Let's be real, that's true. The vast majority have been run by white men and are still run by white men. Pretending that that is not the case is just delusional, because that's just a fact. Is it maybe getting better for women? I would like to think so. Keep in mind, a lot of the reason why women and people of color are being raised to a bit more prominent position, and these companies will celebrate it, is because it's something they can celebrate, because frankly it is a good thing, but also lots of times these people will ask for a smaller paycheck. They will. So the company can praise this thing, but also, pay less. I know it's shitty, but that's the truth. But also, I want to stress, it's not because these people are incapable of doing the job, because they are 100% capable of doing the job. They just have less opportunity. And the more this happens, the more people are given these opportunities, the more they can start asking for it later. The more opportunities they'll have, and therefore the more they can request. Therefore, things start getting equal. It's not, hey, I wish everything was equal immediately and everybody could just have equal rights immediately, but that's not the world we live in. Stop pretending like that's the world we live in, because that's not helpful.
Whoever writes it, praise to them. We don't need to be searching for, is this a woman director?
Yeah, no, he's talking about he just wants a good story. Well, we all want a fucking good story. Everybody wants a good story. Who wants a bad... Guys in chat, who doesn't want a good Star Wars story? It's like, everybody wants a good fucking story. What are you talking about?
A woman photographer, director of photography, artist, a female. How about we just get the best person for the job and we leave it at that and we tell good stories? That's it. Doesn't have to be some sort of a political agenda.
Oh, Lucifer. In Hollywood movies, the ratio of non-white male directors for 2023 was 22%. So that means, if I'm reading that statistic correctly, 78% of Hollywood movies in 2023 was directed by white males.
Agenda attached to every sort of project that we have. But it seems like today that's kind of the...
What the fuck are you talking about? Agenda? You were reading... Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, if there's any doubt, this guy's just being a chud. Because this is what chuds do. They take something so minor. Hey, I'm excited to be the first woman to direct a Star Wars movie and to get to give my input onto the universe. He's taking something so minor as that and making it like this disastrous catastrophe to be outraged over. He's just an outraged farmer. He's a fucking chud.
The Thing. Anyhow, I'm hoping this project will be amazing for Star Wars fans, and whoever goes on to make it, man or woman or alien or whatever it might be, will make a absolutely exemplary project that's really akin to what George Lucas had envisioned for Star Wars, and be something truly amazing that gives us great entertainment and takes us to a galaxy far, far away. That's all I have to say about that. If you want to read more about it, you can check out the Star Wars Holocron on X. All right. Have a great day, everyone. May the... Yeah. Later.
So, yeah, he's just a chud. I don't know what else to say. Like that was ridiculous. He's just crying over woman director saying she's happy to be a woman director. Just no. And then like I'm protecting George Lucas. George Lucas has got $4 billion. He's fine. George Lucas does not need your protection. Grow the fuck up. Like, I feel like there's a degree of ownership. He's trying to say, hey, I know more about Star Wars than anybody else. Nobody else understands this stuff. And I'm sorry. No, you're wrong. You are absolutely wrong. And just move on. Like, if you don't like a Star Wars project, that's fine. You're allowed not to like it. But, like, acting like this is, like somehow they're wrong for getting a woman director, and the woman saying she's proud to be able to give her influence and input into a Star Wars project? Like, what's wrong with that? Like, the only way I could see getting offended by that is if you're just, like, this crybaby triggered fucking snowflake who is just scared of women. That's it. That's the only thing I could think of. And that's all I have to add.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.